So it's springtime. Most of you, in fact, 80% of South African gardeners have a clivia in their garden somewhere. Some of you might not even know that you've got a clivia. It's that thing with the strap-like leaves that sends out orange flowers, normally growing under trees, and it looks awesome for 4 to 6 weeks. And then all of a sudden, you get these things happening on where the flowers were. Well, these are the seeds. So we're going to show you today how to get more out of this. Because if you've popped into a garden centre, you'll see the price of them. In fact, there are clivia societies and there are organizations all around South Africa where clivias are the order of the day and the collection. In fact, for one seed, you can pay up to $100 for one of those. So you might be saying, my gosh, I really do need to collect these seeds. You're absolutely correct. So literally when you're looking at about September, you'll see that all of a sudden on the ends of the stalks, these things were green, and in time, and as time goes by, they then turn red. When they're red and they're nice and plump, you can literally see the deeper red they go. Then you know they're ready for picking. So I've picked a whole lot. Look here, look at all these babies that I've got. Fabulous. You can see they're much larger than this little guy. I mean, do you see the size that they're going to get to? Much bigger, all right? And you can feel, yeah, nice and plump. So all we're going to do is, to prepare our seed, is we're going to just squish them and break them up. Because in each pod like this, you're probably going to find 6, 7 seeds. So let's have a look here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, guys. 7 seeds out of one pod. And remember how many pods you're going to find on the end of this. So don't go too wild when picking, okay, because you've got to sow them all. So pick gently, all right? Don't think you're going and picking tomatoes or something like that. So all we do in prep is simply this. You just open them up, remove the outer pith, which is this red stuff over here. That's the protective layer. Pop that out, and then you've got your little seeds here. Now, clivias, where do they like to grow? Well, they like to grow under trees where it's cool and most importantly shaded, because they are forest plants. So how do we emulate that in our gardens? Grow them under trees. Make sure they've got a nice thick mulch of good, well composted leaves. And when the leaves fall from the trees above them, don't rake them up, for goodness sake. Leave them there, because that forms that beautiful mulch that they need. So we've got a tray. And this is just a seedling tray that you can get from your local garden centre, making sure it's got lots of drainage holes. Very important, folks, okay? Now, in here I've got some seedling mix. Seedling mix is very fine. It's very fine. You can see that's put through a sieve with about a 5 to 7 millimeter aperture so that we've got really nice fine product. So in goes my seedling mix. There we go. Okay. And then all you're going to do is just push it across to the edges. And what I normally like to do at this point is I just take an old floating trowel that I've got, and all I do is I just firm down the soil. So remember, even seedling mix means a consistent, even, successful germination. So there we go. And it goes here. Let's take a look. Are we happy with this? Yeah. Nice, level, perfect area for it. This is the easy part. Take a look. The good thing about clivia seeds, and about all seeds in fact, is that you don't need to worry if you're putting it upside down, or maybe you're burying it on its head, or maybe you're burying it on its shoulder. You don't need to worry about that, because the good man upstairs has made sure that things with leaves grow up, and the first root, which we call the radical, is the first root that emerges, always goes down. So all we do is we take our little seeds, easy stuff, and we just pop them along. Now, get your spacing right, because these guys are going to be in here for at least 18 months. So do it right. Give them a nice spacing, and there you go. So we just put these little babies down here. And remember, now this is the value of these things. That was 2 seeds that I broke up. Literally 2. Hardest part is done. Now all we do is we get some vermiculite. Vermiculite you can purchase from your local garden centre in small quantities. It's lightweight, it's a volcanic substance, and it holds moisture beautifully. Remember, we're trying to emulate the bottom of the forest. We create it with vermiculite that holds moisture and creates warmth on these seeds. Okay, pretty simple. So let's put that little guy over there. And all we do is take it and do a thin layer just covering the seeds. There we go. Okay, covered. Give it a bit of a shake. Can't see those little babies anymore. Last step that you do, take your trowel again, and all I want you to do is just firm it down. Because all we're doing now is making sure that these little seeds are in contact with the warm vermiculite. Remember, it's a little blankie. And in contact with the seedling mix that we've got underneath it. Now, was that hard? Of course not. All we do now is keep this in a beautifully shaded with a little bit of light, not hot sun. Grow in the shade at the bottom of forests. So keep it well moist, literally probably a good watering for the first 2 weeks every single day. Then you can go back and check, is my vermiculite still damp? If it's damp, you don't need to water. Literally, that's all you need to do. And within, move this aside. I want to show you the little miracle that happens. Within 2 to 3 weeks, this is what happens. Look at these little babies. These are ones that I planted earlier. There's the little seed. There's the first shoot. The radical is down there. What else have you had to do? Nothing. It's literally just the water. Okay, so when they're this size, we call it the 2-leaf stage. They'll have 2 little leaves emerging. We can then take it to the next level, where we then take these little babies and we pop them into a slightly bigger pot. Take one of these little pots. We're going to add a bit of our seedling mix in, the same stuff we used earlier. Pop a bit of that in there. Don't fill it all the way to the top. And the reason we're not going to fill it all the way to the top is the following, because you'll see as soon as I take this little guy out, it's going to have a really long radical. The radical is the root. So take this little baby out. Do you see? There's the long radical. Do you see what I mean? I mean, that root is going guns, boy. So all we do is, to avoid the transplant stress, we pop it in here. Remember, I haven't filled this little container all the way up. Okay. And then we get a little bit more of our seedling mix, and we simply just pour it around. There we go. That'll do it. Take the back end of your little bonsai tool. Okay. Take this little baby. He's going to get into a little tray like this. You're going to leave it in this tray for about 6 to 7 months till they get to literally about 15 to 20 centimeters in height. From here, you can take them and transplant them straight into the garden. Literally pop it out of its little pot like that and into the garden, and away you go. And that is all you need to do. Soon as we get them into this size, so literally the 2-leaf stage, so we then need to start feeding. Use something like sea salt, a good organic plant food, dilute it into water as you're watering the plant, so you're giving it this awesome food that it needs. And hey, I got a whole bunch of clivias.